Hey, my beef stews. I'm back with another video. From here on out, I'm going to be calling my fan base the Beef Stews. And I hope you like it because it's never going to change. Okay? It's never going to change. Speaking of fan bases, today we are going to be ranking fan bases based on their crimes against humanity. Fan bases are something that I think are really interesting because there are some, groups of people that unite for their love of one subject matter, and their behaviors can be pretty strange, all right, or even evil, as some would say. And so I've been involved with quite a few of these fan bases. I am not happy to say it. And so I'm going to be ranking them, not just based on my own experiences, but kind of based on research I've done on these different groups of people. And oh my gosh, some of the things that I discovered through my research, actually insane. All right, some of these people really freaking messed up. You're hurting people based on an indie video game. Like, okay, all right, you need some help. Yeah, and then some of these fan bases are much worse than others. D tier is gonna be like, you only really notice their harm if you're within the fan base yourself. They're just kind of a nuisance. They're kind of annoying, like little goblins. And then S tier is the people that are like a danger to society. They're actively harming others on a large scale, whether that be emotionally, physically, or mentally. They just all need to be put in a group and sent out to Alcatraz or something. Yeah, I'll put a parlay in the description so you can bet on who gets placed where, and let's just get frickin' started. That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head. Okay, first off, we have Kanye West, or Ye, as some might say. Wow, off to a strong start. Kanye West is quite a bad person, as some of you may realize, but a lot of his fans are actually blind to that fact. Historically, Kanye has kind of had an alternative and unique perspective on both the music industry and the world, starting back in like the 2010s when he really got popular as an artist. And back then, his kind of unique perspective wasn't, harmful at all, but it definitely has evolved into such over time. And I think people are really blinded by their love for him and are kind of turning into the same dangerous person and have the same dangerous ideologies as he has. He's basically raising a new age of anti-Semites, which I don't really need to explain to you how awful that is. I mean, he literally released a song called World War III. He's aspiring to be Hitler. And a lot of people are kind of joining in on that anti-Semitic attitude. And his music is something that I, need to acknowledge and analyze as someone who, has a YouTube channel centered around music. It's really difficult too because his music has played a large role in shaping the creative identities of many people, including myself. And his music has played a pretty big role in some like canon events in my life, if that makes sense. Like driving out of my high school parking lot on the last day of school, listening to Graduation was a very monumental moment for me. And so it's really sad to see that that person who kind of shaped these monumental moments has turned out to be such a bad person. But I think what is most dangerous is when people don't realize that and they continue to ride the Kanye West rave. So I think right off the bat, we have our first S tier for trying to start World War III and be the next Hitler. So, yeah. I will also say, unfortunately, there is going to be a lot of anti-Semitic fan bases for some reason. So Kanye West is only the first of those awful groups. So, yeah, just prepare yourself for that.
Sounds like the beat to a Death Grips song.
Next up, Death Grips. Another crazy one. Right off the bat, I've talked about the Death Grips fan base before on my channel. They have an entire album devoted to criticizing their fan base and talking about how awful their fan base is. Back in 2022, Death Grips walked off the stage of one of their concerts because they were getting pelted with glow sticks, which, glow sticks are hard and glow sticks hurt. So, yeah. There's also people like the infamous toe sucker that's a part of the Death Grips fan base who crawls around the pits of his concerts looking for people with sandals to suck on their toes. Absolutely insane. There's also a large portion of Death Grips fan base that are very racist. Doesn't make sense because MC Ride is black. So I don't know why they like Death Grips in the first place. But Death Grips is infamously awful. Death Grips fan base, not Death Grips. I like Death Grips, but there's sexual assault that happens at their concerts too. I know that like a lot of female fans have to stand at the back of the pits because they don't want to risk getting into the mix of the pit and something awful happening. Yeah. I might have to put Death Grips as S tier as well. I feel we're going to have stuff under S tier, but yeah. They also like Death Grips. It was rumored that Death Grips broke apart recently because of their fans. So I don't know. It's just the awful fan base is such an integral part of Death Grips that it's just like I feel like I have to put them in S tier. I have to. Okay. All right, time for Harry Potter. Harry Potter is kind of one of those fan bases where it's just a bunch of adults that are over obsessed with something meant for children, which is, a little strange right off the bat. I don't really understand why people love Harry Potter as much as they do. I enjoy the movies. I read the books, but I just kind of left it at that. But yeah, something that I think is really strange with the Harry Potter fan base is the people who get tattoos of the Dark Mark. And you would think that because they're such fans of the franchise that they would realize that the Dark Mark is actually a symbol of hate, very similar to like a swastika. Because, the Death Eaters are actually committing a genocide. And the Dark Mark is a symbol of genocide. I understand that Harry Potter is fiction, but the author is trying to make a statement through her story and trying to criticize genocide and criticize ethnic cleansing. So I don't think I think it's very contradictory for fans to get a tattoo of a symbol of hate such as that. I also find it very weird when people sexualize the characters of Harry Potter. I think especially Draco Malfoy, which I will remind you was 11 years old in the first story.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
And he only turns 18. He only turns to the age of adult in the final book. So if you're making thirst traps of Draco Malfoy or any of the other characters, you are sexualizing a child. I will point that out to you. There's also the thing that I can't ignore either is just J.K. Rowling in general being very, very transphobic, and people just kind of still sticking with her, beliefs and branding. I do know that I feel like a majority of Harry Potter fans do denounce J.K. Rowling, which is very good, but I know that there are still some that stick with her, and that's not great either. For Harry Potter, it's not as bad as the actual anti-Semitic guy. Also, by the way, I don't think I can say Nazi on YouTube without not having ads. So I'm just gonna say Yahtzee, which rhymes with the word. So if I say Yahtzee during the video, you know what I mean. Okay, I'm referring to the people that are really obsessed with Kanye West. Those people are Yahtzees, okay? Anyways, back to Harry Potter. I don't know. I'm going to say C. Because I feel like a lot of Harry Potter fans don't mean harm. Yeah, but I just think they should, think more about the negative effects of their tattoos and their thirst traps. Okay.
My turn is over. Activate. 3 blasting the ruin.
All right. Trading card games. Trading card games are something that I was very obsessed with at one point, particularly Magic the Gathering. I'm someone that gets pretty obsessed with things over 6 month periods. And I think that Magic the Gathering was definitely one of my most intense phases of my entire life. And, it should mean a lot when I say that one of the main reasons that I stopped playing was because of the fan base. The most notable thing about the trading card game fan base is their hygiene, or shall I say their lack of personal hygiene. A lot of them don't wear deodorant. A lot of them don't shower. Some of them will poop or pee themselves during a match because they don't want to get up. There was the, famous images online of the guy going to MTG tournaments or Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. I don't know which one. And just taking picture of all the people that had their plumber cracks out, and it was an insane amount of people. Also, when I played, I don't hear people talk about this very much. There was an insane amount of nicotine addicts. Like, people could not go through the games without whipping out their Juul pod and start doing vape tricks mid-match. I don't know what the deal with that is. I mean, I know that like in in Lord of the Rings, they're always lighting up all the time and smoking, so maybe they're like role playing for the game, trying to be like Gandalf. Yeah, I also find it super just aggravating, the people that just go to the Kroger or Target and just scalp the trading card game section. They'll just buy out the entire section and then resell it on eBay. It's gotten so bad to the point where trading card games had to be sold behind the counter, sometimes during certain days and sometimes during certain times. So that's a kind of a case of super fans of trading card games kind of ruining it for younger fans and kids who just casually want to enjoy the trading card game. Yeah. Where do you want to put trading card games? The big thing is just the smell. They just kind of... Beyond that, it's not like they're hurting people intentionally. I'm going to say B. My gut's going with B. Maybe even A. Maybe even A if I'm... ask me tomorrow, maybe I'll say A. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying about trading card games. League of Legends is kind of insane. I've never played League of Legends. I don't know anything about League of Legends. The only thing I know is just how toxic and awful the fan base is. It's kind of the similar things that you get with every other video game, just teenagers calling you slurs, saying that you should have never been born, just constantly swearing at you. But it's so much worse with League of Legends because the games are so long and so hard to come back from that people will constantly say that the loss is your fault and won't take accountability for their own actions within the game. I've also never seen people rage at a video game as much as League. It's crazy. They become an absolute rabid animal when they lose in League. It is genuinely scary. Okay? League of Legends, it's kind of the fan base that needs no introduction. Like, it's the least beginner-friendly game ever. I saw this tweet online saying that watching Arcane and then deciding to play League is like watching Breaking Bad and deciding to do meth. I kind of want to say A tier. I'm going to say A tier.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yo, go on mute, JP. Go on mute, JP.
What the?
Okay, next up we have Overwatch. I hope you guys... By the way, I hope you guys enjoy the pictures I chose for each fan base, especially the Overwatch one. Picture of Amber Heard dressing up as Mercy for Elon Musk. Yeah, Overwatch. I used to love Overwatch so much. It played such a integral part of my childhood. And when I say integral part, I mean integral part. Oh my gosh, I can't say that word. Integral. It played an integral part in me losing my innocence as a child. The amount of slurs and just absolute heinous comments that I got just because I was 12 and could not aim at all as Reaper or Widowmaker or whatever. It's awful. The design, I think what's bad about Overwatch is that the rank system is very, very poorly designed. It's kind of designed to trap you in the same rank for eternity, and which causes people to kind of turn against each other within single ranks and kind of blame each other for being ranked so low instead of acknowledging the poor game design and just, maybe deleting it off your computer. I don't know. There's also the added thing of just insane fan art with Overwatch, very not suitable for work fan art, and it's something that you do not need to go far in order to see. Like, you'll have a new player that, maybe goes on the internet looking up Widowmaker to figure out more about the character, figure out more of the mechanics, and then they end up seeing a picture of Widowmaker's blue butthole or whatever, which is not very fun. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe people do like that. Overwatch. I'm going to say B. under league. Taylor Swift fans or Swifties think that Taylor Swift is the greatest woman on the planet and can't comprehend when other people don't like her. It's very common saying that when people say that they don't like Taylor Swift, Swifties respond will be like, "Oh, you're just jealous and you must hate yourself," or "You must be a misogynist," or "You just must hate strong, independent women if you don't like Taylor Swift." Which, no, that's not it at all. She's not people's cup of tea. A lot of people don't like her type of pop music, and that's okay. It also just goes against kind of that accepting an open mantra that Swifties preach. They don't accept other people's musical opinions and kind of can't see past their own, Swiftie bubble. The other big thing with the Taylor Swift fans is how much hatred they have towards Ariana Grande fans. I was not really very aware of this, but it's something I more discovered when I started doing research. They hate each other. I didn't know that this was kind of a war going on between Taylor Swift fans and Ariana Grande fans, but it's bad. It's really bad. I saw this tweet, which I'll put it up if I can find it, where this Taylor Swift fan was making fun of the terrorist attack at Ariana Grande's concert and made a joke about there being 22 victims and that being the same number in Taylor Swift's hit song 22. It was just absolutely disgusting and heinous and just awful. I've seen Taylor Swift fans call Ariana Bamiana in reference to the terrorist attack. They also call her Anorexiana.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
I think that's really bad. I don't think that's really bad. That is really bad. I'm thinking A or B. I might put A. I think I'm going to put A.
I read your diary every line. I read it all. I wanna drink your words like wine.
Frank Ocean. I think that putting Frank Ocean on here might surprise a lot of people, but Frank Ocean fans annoy me quite a bit at times. It's very clear in Frank Ocean's music that he values his secrecy a lot, and I see people constantly bugging him, constantly posting on social media, "Frank Ocean, release music, music, Frank Ocean." They DM him, they don't stop bugging him. It drives me nuts, and I can't imagine how much more it drives Frank Ocean nuts. It's like, by him saying that he doesn't want fans bothering him, it somehow inspired even more fans to bother him. I also think it's a similar thing with Taylor Swift fans where they think Frank Ocean is the greatest man to ever walk this earth and any music besides his is just absolute garbage. I remember when Chromacopia was released, people were like, "Ugh, 4 out of 10 album. Frank Ocean isn't on it." And it's like, get the hell out of here. There's still good music out there besides Frank Ocean and his stuff. Oh, a notification. Okay. Ignore how much storage I have taken up. Anyways, Frank Ocean. I don't think Frank Ocean... Oh, whoa. I did not mean to put him S tier. Frank Ocean's definitely not... Frank Ocean fans are definitely not S tier. I think D tier. Yeah, definitely not that bad, but I still just think they're kind of evil towards Frank a little bit.
Disney adults are so weird. Bitch, Disney was designed for adults. That is the point of Disney.
Disney adults. Disney adults have been called the most hated group on the internet, which definitely factors into where I sort them here. Their biggest problem is their self-infantilization. They act like babies. They act like absolute children at the parks. They will throw temper tantrums when they don't get what they want. They will break down crying and cause a scene when they see an adult man in a goofy costume. I've also heard from sources that that they have pretty poor travel habits beyond Disney World. They think that they can treat everywhere else like Disneyland or Disney World, but obviously you can't. You can't treat like a Japanese sanctuary the same way you would treat Space Mountain. It's very what's the word? It's very rude. There we go. It's just rude. It's disrespectful. Yeah. I think the biggest thing I've seen a Disney adult do is that guy who drank out of every fountain at Disney and got kicked out of the park. And not like drinking fountain. I'm talking like display fountain with pennies and nickels and dimes in it. Yeah. I think what's holding me back from like putting them high is that a lot of Disney adults have had pretty poor childhoods, and the reason they go to Disneyland so much is kind of to relive the memories they never had, which is very sad when you think about it. I think I'm going to put them next to Harry Potter. I think that's good. Yeah, I don't... It's also the same thing where it's like they're not intentionally trying to harm others. Kanye West fans are intentionally trying to harm others. League of Legends fans are intentionally calling people slurs and stuff. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Turn off the cameras, now you're all mine. Make you a superstar in my mind, 'cause it's your show.
QSMP and USMP, which, if you don't know, this was something born out of the Dream SMP. Basically, Minecraft YouTubers Dream and Quackity both came up with separate ideas about creating a Minecraft server that was international and basically had a translator that turned the voice chat of one foreign speaker to your own native language so you can understand everyone in the server no matter where they are. And because they came up with the same idea for the server, Dream being the United SMP and Quackity being the Quackity SMP, there was this giant war between the fan bases, and Dream even said himself he has never seen more stalking and doxing and harassment between two fan bases than this situation. Dream also said that he had trackers placed on family vehicles by Quackity fans because they hated him so much for coming up with the same idea. I would like you to keep in mind that all this is about a Minecraft server. There was this whole conspiracy on Twitter from Quackity fans saying that they were going to hire an assassin to murder Dream and then burn down his house. What else? Yeah, it's insane. There's also just a bunch of people in Quackity's Twitch chat saying very racist things towards him. I'm not sure if these are Dream fans or just very messed up Quackity fans. They constantly say stuff like he needs to stop speaking taco, or he smells like tacos and he smells like drugs and he probably has lice, which I hope I don't need to explain to you how racist something like that is, and how insulting it is to his Mexican nationality. And I think the cherry on top is that the QSMP is what kind of prevailed. The United S&P stopped going under development, and the QSMP was the only one that actually came to be. And as time went on, it kind of turned into a disaster, and fans started, once again harassing the producers of the QSMP, sending threats towards them and making very sexual, inappropriate comments. It's insane. It's awful. I can't see it being anywhere else than S tier. Yeah.
I would like to talk about A Complete Unknown. This movie is a complete unknown to me because I didn't see this one as well.
Right, okay. I guess I'm starting to wonder why you're here.
Because I'm a movie guy.
The whole Letterbox community to me is just a bunch of people that don't let you love what you actually love. Oh my gosh, another notification about hi, I don't have storage. Yeah, I think it's a bunch of people insulting you and not letting you love what you love. If you love Fight Club, you're too basic. If you like something like My Own Private Idaho, you're trying too hard to be underground. If you like Attack of the Clones, then you just have bad taste, and you're just stupid and dumb. I just think it's a really pretentious environment. It's people constantly just trying to compete to have the best taste and trying to be more pretentious than one another. Yeah, I think Letterboxd is D tier. I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. I just really don't. I just really don't like pretentious people, and I think that's why I don't love Letterboxd all the time, even though I still have it. There's also just so many jokes about how people are like, once you get Letterboxd, you cannot go back. It's a soul binding contract, and you'll be trapped forever. Which I think is a pretty good indicator of how annoying it can be sometimes. Oh my gosh, the notifications about my storage. Yeah. Letterbox.
Someone who I'm now friends with was part of the Make-A-Wish program, and they went to Cartoon Network Studios, getting out with the Cooniverse, and they saw Steven Universe Wanted early. Now, following this, they shared the details of what happens in Wanted online, and my immediate reaction was definitely more of a negative one.
Steven Universe mainly has one really famous scenario of awful fans, which, if you don't know it, I'll share it with you right now. Basically, there was this fan artist who depicted the character Rose Quartz. And a bunch of people came after her, calling her fat phobic for drawing the character skinnier than she was in the show, and also calling her racist for whitewashing the character. This whole thing turned into a bunch of Steven Universe fans looking very deeply into this fan artist's identity and claiming that she was someone who liked to do sexual things with kids. I can't say the actual word for it on YouTube. They would call her xenophobic, homophobic, anti-Semitic. Any awful label that you can think was pinned onto her, which from my understanding, none of those were true. All of these people were just making up these labels for her. And she ended up becoming so anxious and depressed with the situation that she attempted suicide. These people bullied her so much about her depiction of a character in the show that she was driven to suicide. I would also like to add that when she drew the character of Rose Quartz, she had only been teased in the show at that time. She had never been officially revealed, so she could only guess at what her body type was. She had no way of knowing her body type. I also looked up the race and ethnicity of Rose Quartz, and the internet claimed that she does not have one because she's the physical manifestation of a rock. So there's no way that she could have whitewashed her. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Other big Steven Universe situations include the whole Keystone Motel incident, which Keystone Motel is the name of a location within Steven Universe. And people found out that there's a place in real life called the Keystone Motel. And so they left a bunch of bad reviews for the motel on Google and spam called the business, which ended up obviously being very, very bad for sales for the motel. There was also, there's more. There was a child who was diagnosed with cancer, and his make-a-wish was to meet the creators of Steven Universe, and they told him some spoilers for the show and said that it was okay for the kid to share the spoilers with people he knew. So the kid went online and shared the spoilers, and a YouTuber ended up bullying the kid for sharing spoilers that he was revealed because of his make-a-wish. So yeah. I think I would put Steven Universe in S tier, but I think a lot of the things that have happened have come from very kind of enclosed sectors of the Steven Universe fan base. I think that is a pretty unfair representation of the whole. Yeah, but it is very, very crazy. All right. Undertale. This is Undertale, not Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Okay. Undertale. Undertale is kind of similar with Overwatch, where it's got like a lot of pornographic fan art to the point where people thought it was a pornographic game before even starting to play it, which I think is even stranger considering most of the characters in Undertale are monsters and skeletons. Yeah, the biggest thing with Undertale is that if you're not familiar with the game, there's 3 different endings. And when Let's Players would play Undertale, fans would harass them for not going down the ending that they wanted. It got so bad with Markiplier that Markiplier stopped playing the game. And people would even call Let's Players abusers and child abusers for not going down the pacifist route. Yeah, the most extreme story that I learned about Undertale fans is that there was a convention in which another fan artist story. There was a convention in which a fan artist was selling pictures of a popular fanship between characters in Undertale, and someone went up to the booth and gave the artist a cookie. And the artist ate the cookie, and it turns out the cookie was filled with needles. The cookie was filled with needles, and one of the needles pierced the artist's tongue.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
I'm feeling A or B. I don't know. Undertale's pretty bad. I think A. I think A.
Wolf is the best album. That's not even from like my opinionated. I'm not even saying that biased. Like Flower Boy is some gay shit.
All right. Tyler the Creator, the majority of the Tyler the Creator fan base is a bunch of teenagers thinking they're all edgy and alternative for listening to Tyler the Creator, when in reality, everyone and their frickin' mother listens to him. They're all like, have you listened to Tyler the Creator? Have you listened? I bet you haven't listened to Bastard. Oh my gosh, bro. Get out of here. It's also kind of like, the fan base is basically a whole like civil war between fans pre-Flower Boy and fans post-Flower Boy, always just attacking one another, and not letting you enjoy whichever album that you like most. You know, if you like Igor the most, you're basic. If you like Flower Boy, you're all soft and such a loser. Yeah. Wait, I feel like I was gonna say one more thing about Tyler Creator fan base. Oh, I guess he's also commented on his obsessive fans too, like Death Grips, with Colossus. If you don't know Colossus, it's like basically a rap storytelling song where Tyler talks about this time he was in line at Six Flags, and a bunch of fans came up to him, and went on and on about how much they loved him. And one fan even said that he uses paper cutouts of Tyler Creator to give himself head. And Tyler Creator claims this story was real. So if we're trusting Tyler, I don't know. I guess that weighs into it. I don't think Tyler Creator fans are that bad. They're annoying, yeah, but they're not evil.
If maybe you'd like to have sex with me later, you know, I see.
Bronies. There was a big article by the Atlantic talking about how many white supremacists were within the brony community, and talked about this website that had a bunch of fan art depicting ponies as Yahtzees. And there was even a original fan character named Ariane, which, if you think about that word, I'm pretty sure you can figure out what it means. Ariane was a pony with blonde hair and blue eyes and a traditional German outfit, who served as a mascot for these Yahtzees and white supremacists. There was also a lot of fan art in where ponies were inciting violence against marginalized groups. Yeah, so that's really, really bad and awful. The article by The Atlantic had been criticized for saying that it highlighted a very small minority of the fan base, but I still think, like, you know, the amount of white supremacists in the bronies fan base is more than the normal fan base nonetheless. Yeah, which is really weird. There's also, once again, a lot of pornographic fan art with My Little Ponies, which I will say I think is the worst out of all of the fan bases, because this is an actual show targeted towards children, and children will sometimes come across this not suitable for work fan art, which is not good. I think I'm going to put it in A tier. I do understand the argument that the white supremacist is a small percentage of the community, but it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy that I feel like I can't put it in, cannot not put it in A tier. I would even put it in S tier if I could. But the fact that it is a small part of the community, I'll put it in A. Five Nights at Freddy's. All right. My favorite thing, favorite story about the Five Nights at Freddy's fan base is that when they were writing the first book, Scott Cawthorn, the creator of the franchise, told his female co-writer to turn all her social medias to private because she would probably have a bunch of weirdos and creeps trying to communicate with her online. And then and then after the book had come out, Scott Cawthorn had said, and I quote, "I think it was a good idea." It's so funny. It's so funny. Which, like, he was right too, because a bunch of fans like had looked into her online and could not find anything about her. And so they thought that she was a fake person and was a part of some FNAF conspiracy, and she thought she was a part of the FNAF world.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
People are just so into the FNAF theories too. It's just to a point that I just don't understand. Okay? Like, when someone has a theory online that someone else disagrees with, they'll send them threats and they'll dox them. Like, why? Why do you feel the need to do that? It's a game, okay? It's just a theory, okay? It's not like it's real. There was even this one time where MatPat had a theory, and when someone didn't like it, they threatened Scott Cawthorn, which he has nothing to do with it. It's MatPat's theory. There was a similar thing with FNAF and Steven Universe where people would spam call restaurants named Freddy's, which was, as you could guess, very bad for business. And
anybody with a business named Freddy's needs to beware.
It was not good, and it's just super annoying. People shouldn't do that. I'm going to say B.
Speaking of females, the Sonic universe might also be classified as hot chick heaven because there's such a mess of very beautiful and tough women that it'll make you love the franchise even more.
I think Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the most interesting fandoms out there, mostly because all the fan art and original characters. You know, you got Sonichu, there's Surface Disinfectant the Hedgehog, Pingus the Hedgehog, it just all the recolors of already existing characters that people just claim are their OC. And I think it's so funny too when they're like, "Do not steal, do not copy." It's like, all right, bro, I think you're okay. I don't think anyone's gonna copy. The Sonic the Hedgehog fandom is kind of similar to the Tyler the Creator fandom in the sense that it's like a civil war. But with Sonic, it's not a civil war because there's like 8 different sides. Sonic has gone through like countless stylistic changes from being 2D to 3D to being a werewolf to wielding a sword. And there's communities out there that will defend one while bashing the hell out of all the others. And it's not really like a fandom, and it's more just like a collection of different communities that all like the same thing, but they don't like the same thing. It's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Yeah. And then there's also the people that if you say one bad thing about the franchise, they'll be like, "You don't deserve the franchise. You don't deserve it. You're ungrateful." And it's like, no. Like, I think the Sonic games have had pretty obvious problems for a while. And, you know, you don't even have to be, like, you can be the most diehard fan, and you cannot deny the fact that the new Sonic games are not that great. Okay? Yeah, I don't know. I think C tier. Last but not least, Marvel. Other than like proliferating and supporting the poor quality of the modern Marvel films, Marvel fans have done quite a few heinous things, actually. There was the one instance of Marvel fans bullying a 7-year-old actress into Endgame, bullying her and her family, and the actress had to make a video online being like, "Please stop bullying my family. Please stop bullying my family." Which pretty messed up, if you ask me. I don't think any 7-year-old should be bullied. There's the people, too, that every time a new Marvel movie will come out, they'll send death threats or harass the writers because of a creative decision that they didn't like. It mainly revolves around their favorite character dying off. Like, if a person's favorite character dies off, they'll be like, all right, time to dox the writers now. Which is insane. Probably the reason why Marvel characters never seem to be dead for good is because the writers will be murdered if they don't bring them back. So, yeah. I'm thinking B tier. I'm thinking B tier for our final one. All right. Here we are. Final tier list of all the evil fan bases. Do I want to change anything? I feel like League can go to S tier. We'll give it to him. Yeah, this is very satisfying looking. Yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my tier list. Let me know if you want more in the future. I would love to do more tier lists. I love tier lists so much. I could watch them for like 3 hours and still want more afterwards. So yeah, I would love to do more. Please tell me that you want more. All right. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? It's like, okay, I don't think she's okay.
What would you like to do if you had a magic power?
Kill you.
Okay.
Wait, did you activate Upstart Goblin?
Yeah, that's 9,000 points of damage.
Don't bother using the report feature because it doesn't actually do anything.
She is such a bad bitch, though.